Yes, we'll be back from the break. It's exactly 9 minutes past 6 and you're still watching Smart Means Business. Manju Barije here with Masika team, and definitely we are driving your business all the way. But well, still on that note is to remind you that the markets on the Zabo platform are on and you can kindly participate by dialing *292 hash, which is simply the USSD code that will avail with options where you'll be in position to actually buy government bonds and securities for a fee of 15,000 you get in shillings. Now the markets at exactly 8:15 a.m. they open and run all the way to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when these markets cannot be accessed. But of course, that's not the big deal. You have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, something which I believe it's quite key and instrumental when it comes to financial growth and development. And that's why Zaba clearly says that my money, my future, and also East Africa, well, tells you you gotta do something new for yourself. Well, still into the matters of climate change, discussions on the ongoing currently, and of course this brings us to a disruption in agriculture chains in the different countries in there. Masi, what do you really see on that? We are seeing our countries trying to adopt technology as one of the ways to catch up, and most especially in agriculture. Due to climate change, they can't now rely on the natural factors.
Oh, obviously. I mean, most countries, of course, are investing into artificial ways, mostly for irrigation. The fact that maybe with the climate change, there is need for looking for other alternatives. If you're not receiving in the time rain in the time you're supposed to receive it, what alternatives are there? Definitely, that is irrigation. You could do irrigation. You could use with using technology, or maybe you invent something. You know, people used to use bottles. They put holes in them, then the water sprinkles around. That is also irrigation. You water, you can drain, you create a trench where you put water, and it goes. There's a process in agriculture called that, where you can have water circulating to all of us. So definitely,
circulation.
Yeah. So there are very many other alternatives that we can use, mostly because if agriculture is the backbone for your nation, definitely there has to be a way forward for cases like this, for crises. I mean, how do people in the deserts do it? If you, who has reliable, who has your weather changes are good, are really good, your climate is good. So if the possibility of them working out perfectly is okay for their nations, so that in arid, semi-arid areas, what about us who are gifted with good climate, with good weather? So we have to have alternative sources for that, and of course encouraging youth to come out with different innovations, mostly to when it comes to fighting this aspect of climate change, global warming. People came out with briquettes. There are other alternatives people are using for mitigating whatever.
Briquettes for charcoal?
Yeah, briquettes for charcoal. People are actually activists for climate change, to plant trees. A lot is being done. So definitely, I must say, we are, like people say, we are in times where we are not certain. People be saying, oh, we're in the end times, whatever is happening. But we have to deal with plastics. Our water is contaminated. The different wastes from the different industrial parks and areas contaminating the water. And of course, you have to come to realize that water is used by humans and animals as well. So if the animals are affected, we are affected as well. So we have to look for alternative measures for us to live healthy and our environment as well.
Okay, that is quite a great insight in that. But of course, we know quite a number of countries that are actually surviving on technology when it comes to agriculture, and they're really having quite positive outputs in there. But of course, before we get into that discussion further, Smart 24 TV is on ground in Dubai for the climate change conference. And of course, here we see the United Arab Emirates strategizing, that is investing into agriculture production, as it produces the best blueberry blueberry status in the world, you know, and this is through enhanced technology. This is the only way Dubai feels like it's going to be competitive with other countries when it comes to blueberry productions in there. So let's get into this discussion. Smart 24 TV is on ground in Dubai.
It's an honor to be here today with you in this incredible place, amazing place. On behalf of Ministry of Climate Change and Environment of UAE, it's my honor to welcome you here. It's our year of sustainability, year when we also host COP28, the UN Climate Change Conference. COP28 represents a milestone moment in our collective efforts to keep 1.5 degree alive, as well as fast-tracking as fair and quick energy transition to our presidency aim to address climate finance, focus on people, and be inclusive. Here in UAE, we have put a great efforts into innovation. Innovative food program, and one of the examples we have here, the vertical farm. Of course, it shows what can agriculture innovation do in such harsh environment for food production. I don't know if you know this or no, but today in UAE, we can produce one of the best quality of blueberry in our land. And we can produce also Atlantic salmon in our fish farm, just around half an hour from this place. We believe that the right mindset, anything can be achieved. And this is what we are doing actually here. By utilizing all type of innovation technology to assist us to produce with in this desert climate and arid area, we can produce different crop around the year with using different type of technology which can reach us to the sustainable agriculture. The concept and the system that we can grow without impacting on our environment. It's a solution which overcome our harsh climate, and we can grow around the year, produce safe food from toxic, from pesticide residue, with a very high value system. I will leave the details and of this place to the management of the vertical farming here. As I mentioned, one of the main positive thing about the place, the saving of the water, around 95%. As I said, meanwhile here in UAE, we strongly support concept of sustainable agriculture, and as you know, farming is not, or producing food is not, will be the first industry that springs to the mind for UAE. But knowing and realizing from our leaders about the importance of producing food here. So there was different initiatives to attract food and agriculture production investment, with also attracting many entrepreneurs and startup business in agriculture production. To increase our percentage of self-sufficiency in certain food and crop, we work with our strategic partner around the world to enhance certain initiatives. One of the main initiatives to enhance the utilization of technologies and innovation is AIM for Climate, Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate, which we started up with United States of America a few years back, which reached now around 500 partners and more than $13 billion of investment.
Well, that is our team on the ground, definitely with matters to do with mechanization of agriculture, and all this due to the climate change. And this is one of the ways to buy things, could be a way to bridge the food gap.
Yeah, I like the fact that he mentioned that they're encouraging most of the entrepreneurs and, of course, people to invest into agriculture because, I mean, where they are, I don't think agriculture works well best in their country. So that is why they're advocating for all this, you know, for people, they're encouraging people to do agriculture, you know, because now they have, they are going to invest in a lot of money with carbon credits. We've been talking about it with Godwin, with carbon credits and all, you know, to make sure they can also have some food for themselves. They could have to have food circulation within themselves, not to have to import.
Yeah.
You know, it's too much consuming when you're importing food, mostly within your country. Most of the products are being imported. I don't think they have a huge a huge agricultural base.
A huge agriculture base.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, away from that, of course, we shall be bringing you more updates, what's happening in Dubai, with more, of course, very interesting conversation still in relation to climate change and mitigations. Now, did you know that actually there are quite a number of countries that are not really, maybe they're not richly endowed with the best weather conditions, but they are the best producing when it comes to agriculture, but all due to the use of technology. And now, of course, here we see Korea. Did you know that Korea is one of those nations, South Korea, with a number of 72 agriculture startups in there. Now, South Korea is one of the wealthiest and most scientifically advanced countries, and that is in East Asia, with a size of about 1.8 trillion US dollars as of 2021. Now, in the same year, its agriculture sector accounted for about 1.84% GDP. Now, the smart agriculture ecosystem has been taking root in the country. Now, in 2014, still only 405 hectares of land and 23 households were dedicated, that is, to smart farms and smart livestock, respectively. Now, we see that in 2021, these, of course, figures kept on increasing as a result of that. Now, Korea, one of those countries that don't have the best weather conditions, but they are thriving in agriculture, and their biggest export is rice. Now, Japan comes number 11 on our list of those countries with a number of 76 agricultural startups, if you didn't know. And of course, we see that Japan is another East Asian country that is on the list of the most advanced countries when it comes to agriculture technology. Now, agriculture sector is made up of 1% of the GDP, and that is in 2022, according to the World Bank. Now, Japan wants to more than double its agriculture exports. That is from 2019, when they amounted to $9 billion US dollars. of course, according to the reports. Now, the country aims to export 19 billion US dollars worth of agriculture products by 2025, sensing the market need. Now, the agri-tech sector in Japan is valued at 1.6 billion US dollars. Yes, Dubai is, of course, also part is joining this list. Now, New Zealand is one of them, is also another country here with 185 startups, as you can actually see. Now, of course, these ones mainly are cattle growers, cattle farmers, you know, many of that what they do. Now, Israel comes still on the list, number 9, with a number of 225 agriculture tech startups. Now, Israel is an important country when it comes to most advanced countries in agriculture technology. It is a home to, that is a BLAS, that is a Sincha BLAS, the inventor of the drip irrigation, a highly efficient irrigation method that requires 20 to 50% less water than other irrigation methods. Yeah, so Israel, one of there, and some notable agri-tech companies in Israel include Kaima, there is Equinom and Felden, right there. France, number 8, with 292 startups, agriculture tech startups. And some of these include the wine sect, there is the Lima Grain and Agronutris, and the yen sect is involved in developing insect cultures that convert cereals into nutrient sources, that is to feed pets. Now, Germany, 297 agriculture startups in that country. Now, the European Union leader has a strong economy, and according to global data, the agri-tech industry in Germany is valued at $0.6 billion in the country. That is as of 2021. Now, Netherlands is on the list here with 320 agriculture tech startups. And we see that the country has been described by the Washington Post, well as by the World Economic Forum, as a model to follow for technology-based sustainable agriculture. Now, about 20 years ago, the country made the commitment to produce twice as much food as resource usage. Now, the initiative has led to many farmers across the country reducing reliance on water for major crops as much as 90%, as noted by the National Geographic. Now, of course, the use of the pesticides has been virtually phased out, and it's, you know, the tomatoes which are grown in greenhouses using the geothermal energy and hydroponic systems that rely on less water. This is all, of course, thanks to the culture of innovation, and some of its top startups include Protix. Now, we are talking about the startups in Netherlands. There is Protix, DNA Genetics, and Plant Lab at the same time. Yeah, so that is our list for the countries that are actually relying mainly on agrotechs and agriculture technology. They're using technology to boost agriculture, and agriculture is contributing a percentage to their GDP. Korea, Japan, New Zealand, Israel, France, Germany.
You know, Israel being one of the destinations people go to, you know, for Christian-based, for religion, maybe for, you know, different sites there.
Yeah.
But, you know, the kind of report people come with, really, given the way the area is, people are actually mind-blown by the kind of food they have, really. It's nowhere, it's in the desert, but then the food that they have, how do they do it? They have lots and lots of fields rich with food, and there is abundance. And you know, I remember one of my relatives saying, is it because maybe it is it is the chosen nation that God had chosen, but there is really abundance. The technology that they use, irrigation, they do actually mostly invest in irrigation. That is their #1 priority when it comes to agriculture produce. Fertilizers, those guys, if you went to Israel, you'd be inspired, trust me. You'd come with, I have to change.
They're good with fertilizers.
Good with fertilizers. Irrigation is top notch, so definitely when it comes to technology, they're doing what they can. Yeah, so they are really an example that you can be in the middle of nowhere but still have food if you're creative enough. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that insight. Yeah, but of course, the bigger question in here is that should we first wait to experience the effects of climate change for us to adapt new innovation especially when it comes to agriculture. What if it's too late at the moment when you really need it? At the time you're just trying to put up solutions, the country is starving. Food insecurity, and when you experience food insecurity, definitely the economy, the GDP is going to be largely affected, and it's also going to reduce on the income. People are not going to be people's income is largely because food will be expensive because it is scarce. So that means majority of people's income, the household incomes, will be spent on eating as compared to investing. Yeah, because once you have a food shortage due to climate change issues, agriculture yields are affected. That means food is going to get scarce, and once food gets scarce, that means it's going to get expensive. And when people earn money, the first priority is going to be food because people need to eat food. It's a basic need of life. It's a necessity. You can do away with all the rest, but that one for you to live. If madmen still be naked, but they need to eat for them to survive. So economically, it has implications for the nation. Well, it's 27 minutes past 9, and you're still watching Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barije here with Masika Tume. It's a Friday. Of course, I understand it's the 8th of September, warming up for a fresh weekend in there. And of course, for those of you that are going to join the president to celebrate the birthdays, of course, we wish you all the best. You have the best day in there with quite a busy state. It would be a good day for you to enter your weekend. Well, still on that notice to remind you that the market's on the Zebra platform already on. You can kindly participate by dialing *292#, which is the USSD code. And here you'll be available with options where you'll be in position to actually purchase government bonds and securities for a fee of 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now, the markets opened at 8:15 a.m. and they'll be running all the way to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time. And this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when this market cannot be accessed. But of course, that's not the big deal here. The bigger picture is that you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, something which I believe is quite key and revolutionary when it comes to your financial security. And that's why Zaba clearly says, well, my money, my future. And also East Africa tells you, well, you got to do something new for yourself. Remember, it is 2023. Well, now we take a short break, and of course, we shall be returning with further business insights.